me duck down here a minute. Okay, sports fans. I'm going to give you 3 interesting things here. First of all, the look. This is the day after I was interrupted by visitors here to the preserve while I was trying to do a video on sinew backing this. But that's okay. You're going to see a little bit here. But the first thing is, I'm liking the coffee staining. This is going to be such a sweet looking bow when it's done. And again, all it is, it's a very wet mixture. This is not in the heat. It's liquid in my little rat's nest here, but that's okay. I don't need a double boiler. I don't need to worry about the heat. It sticks plenty good. I'm using less hide glue. All is good. You might think that when you put your entire wad of sinew in here, it's going to be hard to manage, but it's so slippery you can pull out 2 or 3. I'm typically using like 3 strands, 4 strands. Not processed as much as I normally do. They're a little wider, so 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever strands are easy to just pull out of there, even though it's a disorganized, scary looking mess. No big deal. The sinew strands are slippery. They just slide out. It's not like dealing with kite string. It's so much easier. Okay, so let's see. The first one is Coffee Stain Works. The second is, it's pretty darn easy to just use, less hide glue. Of course, you can use thicker glue when you size it, or a lot of layers of thin stuff, but before your very eyes, let's do this. And I'm going to get to something really tricky here in a bit. This is after a night of drying. And so number 3 is, look at that, just lay that down. And what I'm doing is I'm putting it over the separations. I better say heck with vanity and put my glasses on here. I'm just kind of filling in the gaps. At first I was saying, I don't care if I can see wood through it, but my compulsive nature when it comes to sinew backing is like, no, I want to have complete coverage. I tell myself, and I'm honest, basically, that this is going to be just a nice, rough, bumpy sinew layer with some cracks showing so you can see the wood, but then say no. Okay, the third thing is, I had a partially dried sinew layer on here, and I'm adding more. And you might think it's just as easy as you take the dried back of a bow and you can add as much of this stuff to it and it'll stick and everything will be hunky-dory and I won't have like delaminations or separations, but that's not true. If you don't carefully take a semi-dried back and do stuff to it, these layers that I'm putting on will just peel off. I mean, some people might have supreme luck and it doesn't operate that way, but in my experience, oh look at this, you are watching me do some sinew backing here. In my experience, it's a fool's errand because the stuff will peel up again. And so I take some precautions. This was a wetter back. It had a lot more water in it than normal because I'm using this, I'm going to call it cold brew method. Cold brew. No double boiler, no extra heat because I've got a thicker glue mixture. And so I wasn't risking as much, because it was wetter. It didn't dry as much as it normally would because I did it wet method. But still, what I did this morning is I washed water over the back. I just kept washing water over the back because I wanted to get that upper surface redampened. And then I put it in the bathroom. I know I'm talking about bathrooms here, but it's not going to be as unpopular a subject as you might think. I put it in the bathroom and ran the shower, hot water, and steamed the heck out of the bathroom with the bowl in there to again make the sinew sticky. So number one, coffee is cool. Number two, careful on that. I forgot what number two was. What was number two? That the wet method works nicely and it's easy to manage the sinew. And number three is a steamy bathroom, hot water is your friend. I'm going to add a number four to this. And I've done this before. I call it applique work, where I build up sinew in patterns, faces, whatever, you know, where you put thick sinew on your bow in spots to make patterns. And how I make sure that sinew, that new sinew will bond to, a dried bow back, is that after I get it done, I'll take strips that I made out of garbage bags and I'll wrap it so it doesn't dry right away. You literally wrap the sinew that you put on with plastic from a garbage bag so it stays wet a long time. It'll make the back tacky again, because normally just air drying things dry out too fast on the surface. But wrapping it with a garbage bag, oh, that's good stuff. Anyway, stuff to do here, so I'm not going to talk too long. There was a thing along the edge where the edge was off. You know, I think I might have demonstrated. I'm just pulling it out one strip at a time. Oh, how about number 5? In for 4, in for 5. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but when I was processing my sinew at first, my intentions were good. I said that, there we go, a few extra strips. I said that I was going to just run it under the faucet quick because it doesn't rip and you retain a lot and you don't get a lot of waste, and a lot of the sinew that you're preparing doesn't just wind up on the ground as little tiny ripped up, shredded up particles. When I processed this to a less degree, these are bigger fibers than I normally would use because I'm so interested in just the finery of sinew backing. I had so much less waste. Just consider that. The more you process, the more you try to make your fibers smaller and more precise, the more waste you're going to have. I'm going to turn this over here because I see an edge and I can only get it from this side because I'm on the side of the table. Edge right there. There's a nice wide strip. Okay, where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it right alongside there. Now I could certainly, because I'm adding fresh sinew to this thing, over a semi-dried back, I could certainly wrap the whole bow in a plastic sheet, and then this new stuff will certainly melt into the old stuff, but I'm not gonna. Not gonna at all. It's just gonna sit there, and then I'm gonna put it back in the bathroom for a little bit, run the hot water in the shower, and just continue letting that back kind of liquefy a little bit. Now what do I do with this? I still have a lot of sinew here. I was thinking about, I stripped 7 tendons and I probably used, I probably used only 5 on this bow, maybe 4, because it is not a thick layer, it's just a single layer plus the scraps. So this bow, which is, I kind of small. I should know how long it is. I could have probably gotten by with just 4 decent leg tendons from a whitetail to do it, which is kind of cool. You get one deer, you cut out the tendons, you use the back strap for bowstrings or sewing or whatever you want to use it for. Just use the leg tendons on the bow for string, the back strap. And so one deer can make a bow. I had visitors yesterday, they were like, "What is that?" And I go, "It's a bow. And I'm putting deer tendons on it. What are you going to do with it? Or what is it for?" I said, "For getting more deer." You know, it was kind of a snarky answer, but it's true. I guess they didn't connect the dots that, like, you could actually hunt with a bow? Yeah, that's it. This is cool. I like this. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a little, why not, put a little wash of glue over here. I usually do this. I sinew back a bow and then I just take my fingers, dip it in the hide glue and just kind of paint over what I just did. Why not? I've got some glue to spare. I guess I forgot to say what I was going to do with these extra tendons now. I'm not wrapping the tips on this one, not needing to wrap the handle. So I'm done with this sinew. I could make another little tiny ball, you know, like a 48 inch or 50, and it would probably be almost enough. I'm just going to pop it in the freezer. And then how do I arrange it again? It's a very, hope you can see it, it's liquid. It'll be the right viscosity and everything, the right amount of glue in there. I'll just put it in the sink, float it in warm water, thaw it out, and away I go. Well, that's it. Maybe I'll wipe my fingers on my shorts and just kind of say adieu and thank you for watching.